Hi, it's Corrine. Thanks so much for stopping by. Today I'm sharing two A2 sized cards. So these are 4¼ by 5½, and they are both on a black cardstock base. I'm using the Altenew Dreamy Dahlias. I used both the stencil and the stamp set. This is a beautiful set from Altenew. I pulled out my Misty and I'm stamping on some Hammermill 100-pound cardstock. I used Concord & Nine's Nutmeg and I stamped it a couple times. I'm leaving my stamp in my Misty because I plan on going back and re-stamping it because it tends to dull it down a little when using oxides, and I do use oxides. So I pulled out an Altenew grip mat. This is a 9x12, and I'm using some mag ink trays from Glassboard Studio. I do have a discount code, 20%, in my description box if you're interested in any of the Glassboard Studio products. Those mag ink trays just hold your ink pads perfectly in place, and they magnetize down to your magnetic workboard, glassboard. So I also pulled out Concord & Nine's inks. For some reason I was thinking I was going to be using the greens, but I set those aside for now. I pulled out Buttercup and Stardust ink, and I'm doing yellow flowers. The Buttercup I went really lightly with on one of the layers, and then I deepened it with the Stardust, just trying to give it a little variation in the colors. For this one, I'm going to be doing blue leaves. That's one of my favorite things to do with flowers, is to do blue leaves. I love the green as well, but I thought the yellow flowers would be really pretty on it. So I quickly go through these. I'm using some mini ink blending brushes, and I have one of those makeup organizers to just kind of keep them. If they roll around everywhere on my desk, they seem to make a mess on my desk, so I just keep them organized that way while I'm using different ones. So I also pull out Distress ink. I pull out Ground Espresso for the center of the flowers, just again to deepen them up, maybe giving them like a little bit of a sunflower type look. For the blue leaves, which, I just love those so much, I pulled out some Distress oxides. I have Stormy Sky and Chip Sapphire. So the Stormy Sky, I did a light look, and then with the Chip Sapphire, I used a smaller blending brush and went around just where the darkest parts of the leaves would be. And being that takes a little while to dry, I went ahead and hit it with my heat gun. See how well these stick? It actually moved my entire glassboard when I went to move it. I love those. So I went ahead and put my ink stenciled panel back in my Misty, and I did place a piece of transparency film on top of it to stamp it down, just to make sure that it was all lined up. I didn't want to ruin the work that I put into the ink stenciling that I did. So I just checked it first with the transparency, and once I was happy with that, I stamped it back up, inked it down. Did the same thing with another panel that I inked off camera, and for that I used Avocado and Artichoke by Concord & Nine. Those are my two favorite greens to work with, and I used the same blues, the Stormy Sky and Chip Sapphire. I also used Stardust for the flower centers, and I forgot to mention the other flower centers. I used Ground Espresso, but I did it very lightly and a little bit of a darker shadow, but it was all the same color. So I wanted to cut out a rectangle frame. I pulled out a Spellbinders rectangle die along with a Labels 17, because what my plan was to pop that center frame up. What I did in the end is I popped the outside frame. So you'll see what I'm talking about in a moment here, but I went ahead and adhered down with a little bit of lightweight tape. I'm using Post-it tape by scrapbook.com, the mint tape specifically, and I cut out both the label and the frame at the same time. being that I thought I was just going to be popping that center up, I took those apart. Had I realized that I was going to be popping up the frame, I should have just kept them together. But at this point, I didn't plan on doing it that way. When I looked at it like here, that's when I decided I'm going to pop this outside frame up. So I simply used my ink stenciling panel, put it on a piece of black cardstock that I had cut out from the same rectangle frame, and then I just placed my frame in, or my die inside of it to get it to line up perfectly behind that frame. The reason I did that is I wanted to use some foam tape, but I wanted to give it a little bit more stability before I did that. So I wanted one or two black pieces of cardstock behind it to give it a little bit stability. Yeah, I did two pieces. So I'm going to glue those two frames together using a fine tip glue bottle and some Barely art glue. And these will line up perfectly behind my frame, being that I use that other piece as a guide. I will go ahead and glue on my ink stencil panel. This card came together very quickly. Like I said, I did let it sit overnight just because I had other work I had to do for my real job. So I just let it sit. But otherwise, I think it took me, I don't know, maybe 35 minutes to do this card. I wanted to use some double-sided foam tape. It was a little too wide. I have really thin foam, but I didn't want to do a bunch of pieces like that. So I just took mine and cut it down the center. You just want to be careful with the scissors. And so that is popped up. In this, I'm going to be gluing directly onto my card base. I just put that frame in place to use as a guide, added some Beacon Fabri-Tac to that piece and inlaid it, which that actually looks pretty by itself now that I'm seeing that. And then I went ahead and added a little wet glue to my foam tape, a Kathy Zilski trick, just so you can kind of place it where you want before it sticks down. So now I pulled out the stamp set that goes along with this Dreamy Dahlias. They have the best stamp sets. And I pulled out the Appreciate You. It's the first time I'm using it, so I did rub the outside of the stamp with the palm of my hand to get any residue off, and I did stamp it twice with this VersaFine Claire Nocturne ink. I went ahead and heat embossed it because this does take a little time to dry. I used clear embossing powder by Ranger, and I didn't want to wait, so I thought a little shiny look would look pretty anyways. I haven't done that in a while. So I went ahead and added the clear embossing powder, like I mentioned, and heat set that. You'll see in the end I don't end up using this, but I'll save it. I'll use it on a future card, I'm sure. So I did cut that out using the coordinating die. I cut out 3 more black pieces of cardstock. I love to give it that dimension look of dimension rather. So I glued 3 of those together, pressed them down, and in a moment you'll see me, as I was holding it up to the card, even though the black looks good on it, I kind of thought the chipped sapphire distress ink would look better. So I figured I would just stamp it out and check, and I did like it much better. So I did stamp this. Oxide stamps beautifully. You just need to stamp it a few times. So I think I stamped it 3 different times. I did heat it with my heat gun because it does take a little bit of time to dry. I wanted to run it through, I didn't want to wait. I wanted to run it through my die cut machine. And then I held it up to the black pieces that from the coordinating die set. And I really liked how that looked on it. So again, I'm still trying to be a little careful with the ink, but I'm holding both up. I held the black, like I mentioned, up against it, and I really like that little pop of black. So what I'll do is I tested it out to make sure I liked it. I cut another piece with the coordinating die, and then I figured I would glue a little of it sticking out at the bottom and a little at the top to make it look like a shadow piece. Once I decided that was going to look good, I'm using those 3 pieces that I glued together, some sharp scissors, and I cut those apart. Then I'll just add a little bit of glue to the top of that and the bottom, and it makes it look like it has a little bit of a shadow. Helps it to stand out from the card base a little bit better, or the card panel a little bit better. So it kind of fit perfectly right in the center of my card. I normally kind of offset them, but I really liked how it looked at the bottom center. And being that it had 3 pieces of cardstock under it, I needed to add 1 strip of foam tape to the center just so it all laid perfectly. So I adhered that down, and now I like to finish off the inside of my cards. I used, again, that same stamp set, but I stamped out Sending Love, and I believe, I'm not looking at the card in front of me, but I believe I stamped out Hope You Have a Wonderful Day or something to that effect. And I pulled out enamel dots, trying to figure out if I wanted to use enamel dots. I ended up, you'll see these in a lot of my videos lately, I ended up using these, they're just the glitter circles, using the Prima confetti circles die. I cut out a bunch of these from Altenew Smoky Quartz cardstock. I love these lately. So I did entertain enamel dots for a little bit, but I ended up using these gold glitter circles, added them to both the inside and the outside of the card, and I poured them into one of those craft catchers. Those are also from Glassboard Studios. Those I'm obsessed with. I use them all the time. They funnel right back into whatever you use them, but I like to spread them out in there so I can choose the different sizes. I think there's 4 different size circles that Prima die cuts out. So I'm just using a magnet to hold my cardstock open, my cardstock base open. And I like to use double-sided tape when I'm worried about getting something centered perfectly. If you take off the top piece of the reverse paper, just the top piece, you can kind of move it around, get it in place. Once you adhere that top down, you can just lift up your cardstock panel and remove the rest of the tape backing and place it down. So I don't go through the entire process of this second card, but I just quickly wanted to show you. I use this really pretty background die. I think it's from Frantic Stamper, and I cut it out. All the pieces happen to stay in the die. So while it was in the die, I took advantage of that and put foam tape on it. There are fiddly parts, so I had to cut the foam tape down, but I didn't mind doing that. It didn't take me very long. Once I had foam tape on all those little diamond shapes, I went ahead and released the paper backing to them, added a little bit of wet glue, again, just so I could add my card onto it and keep it in place. And I did add this directly to a card base. I just lined it up, put it in place, let it dry for a minute. Once I was happy with that, I was able to just kind of pop out all those pieces and they stayed in place. For the small pieces, I used just the other end of my jewel picker. And with this black background, it turned out so pretty. So you could use this piece as well. I did not, because I went out of the lines a little bit with my inking, so I just threw that piece away. So again, I was trying to decide if I wanted to use that Appreciate You, but I thought this Thinking of You fit nicer on there. And those pieces are popped up on foam dimensionals like you just saw me do. So in order for this to lay nicely, I add two little foam pieces to the back where it dips in, just to make sure everything lines up nicely. And then I added a few more of those little glitter circles and finished the inside of the card the exact same way, with this one just saying Sending Love. So I hope you've enjoyed today's process. If you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments section, and I hope you consider subscribing to my channel, giving this video a thumbs up, and you can find me on all socials under CorenesCreations. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you have a great day.